Hey everyone, Stan Haller here with VectorVest Canada. In today's short video, I wanted to give you some valuable tips about scanning for trade opportunities and making this part of your daily routine. Once you have a systematic process in place and you know exactly what you're looking for, it makes finding those trade opportunities much easier, and usually you will get better results. This was all covered in the special presentation by Jerry D'Ambrosio last Friday, where he talked about 5 steps for creating your daily routine. And we're going to focus on step number 3, which was to do your homework. Once you've established a directional bias, you want to create a watch list of potential trades the night before the next day's open. And for research, you can use the stock viewer, the sector and industry group viewers, your favorite watch lists. And what I'm going to focus on is the Unisearch for stock scans. And you might want to come up with up to 10, maybe even 20 trade ideas, put them into a new watch list for the daily opportunities. And then you can watch them at the market open and act on the ones that are starting to move up and move in the right direction, as long as you have the market timing or directional bias still with you. So let's go right into the program and have a look. We'll start here with Canada. This works the same way in the US and Australia and UK and Europe, the other VectorVest countries. And it all starts with the home page, and you can initially go to the Viewers tab, where you have the Stock Viewer, your Watch List Viewer, Industries, and Sectors. So for example, the Stock Viewer gives you a spreadsheet of all the very best stocks that come to the top of the list, sorted by value, safety, and timing. So that's a great place to start, and you can start to cherry pick some stocks from there. What I'm going to do is go to the Unisearch tab here, and I'm going to create a folder that will hold maybe up to 5, 6 of my favorite searches that I know will return stocks that have a good setup or potential for moving higher going forward. So for example, what we need to do is create a new folder. Now I've got one created here, a daily search routine. And how I created that was just to left click up here at the top left of the page and create a new group, which is your master folder. When you left click on it, it brings a new menu to you, and you can just give it a name. It has to be something different than the one I've already created. So I'll just call it a daily search routine. And then you click on add. You can type in your comments about why you created the search if you like, and the day you created it. Oops, we've already got one named that, so I just need to give it a little addition there, V1. Click on add. And it drops it down to the bottom. And later on, it'll come back into the group sorted by the first letter, which is A, which is why I put that in there, so it comes up near the top of the list. So now I've got my folder. Now I just need to populate it with some searches. So what I'd like to do is start with one that already is pre-built by VectorVest. It's one of my favorites. It's under Trends, New Stuff, and it's the new buy rated stocks. So these are stocks that were either a sell or a hold yesterday, but they're rated a buy today. It's a terrific search. If I run the search as of the 21st, you'll see that these are the stocks that are buy rated today. Now you would look at the graphs and see if there's a particular pattern that you like. This one's crossing above the 40-day moving average. RT is rising. Earnings per share is strong, and it's got decent volume on this candle here. So that might be a good candidate. There's another great candidate. So these have pulled back a little bit. Notice here, AltaGas has pulled back. Now it's rising beautifully, and we've got some strong volume here. So you might decide, well, I like this stock and this stock. And so I've just held down the control key and just selected them. And those are two stocks that I might want in a watch list so that I can watch at the market open to see if they continue rising and place my order if they do. So to create that watch list, we would just right click and add to watch list here. And I can add it to an existing group, or I can create a new group again. So just a new group, just to show you how that's done. And I'll just call it Daily Trade Ops. And I better put a V1 in there in case I already have it. Can't use the same name twice. So it drops it down to the bottom. It's got the two stocks ready to go into a watch list here. That's my main folder. Now I'll create the watch list. Just left click beside the page, new watch list. And here is where we'll put in the date. So Trade Ops 2021. Okay, so we make sure we put in a date so that we know which day we're looking for these particular stocks. So now it's got my subfolder here under my main folder. These are the two stocks that will be added when I click OK. And I've got the start of a watch list for daily trading opportunities. If I go to the Viewers tab, and there it is right there. So you just got to make sure you know which folder it's in and where you're tracking these. Normally we wouldn't have two folders so closely named, but I just created one earlier as a test. All right, so that is our first search that we want to set up. And it's a pre-built search. We just want to get it into the daily search routine folder. So we just come in and right click on it, click Save As. It'll give me a new drop-down menu, and I want to make sure the folder is highlighted. It's moved up to the top here. And I've got a couple of these going as practice here, but we called this one a daily search routine V1. So I've just might make sure I highlight it, and I'll have to give it a new name because I can't save the search with the same name as one that's already in the group. So I'll just call it Buy Rated Stocks. And I'll put my V1 beside it. How's that? All right, we make sure that its search type is long and we click OK. All right, and now I've got the search. So it's more convenient to have all of these searches in the daily search routine. Then I can just go boom, boom, boom down through 4, 5, 6 searches and study the graphs for each one and maybe choose one or two top stocks from each search. So that's the first one that we're going to do. I can also take a VectorVest search and modify it. So for example, if I scroll on up here a little bit, here's the Delta Searches stocks. And I'm going to choose 10-day top gainers. So these are the top 10-day price gainers. There's the Delta and 10-day sorted descending. So what I might want to do is add some parameters here. So typically we would add price volume, and I'm just going to use price actual greater than $1. And I'll add some volume minimum here, minimum average volume greater than, for Canada, 50,000 shares is reasonable. US, you might have 100,000 or even 500,000. But for the other countries, 50,000 is fine. And then I might want to add some other dates just to see what the percent gains are for the other dates. This is going to be the default sort. You can see it up here in the sort area. But let's add another one. So stocks, price volume. We need to choose split adjusted in the parameter section. That allows us to choose the delta operator. And from here, we click in value. And this one, I'll just make the last 5 days. and display only. So now when I run the search, you'll notice I've got the percent increases over 10 days and then over the last 5 days. So I might look for a stock that seems to be continuing to rise. 5 days, it was up 47%. The next 5 days, it was up another 20%. So that might be a terrific candidate. I would look at the graph, make sure, and if it's one that I think has potential for the day, I'll right click on it again, highlight it, right click on it, add to watch list. And it's going to remember that I'm putting these stocks into the trade ops list. So I just click OK and it'll move SALT into that list. So now I've got 3 stocks in my watch list, and I've got another search, and I can add, if I want to look at the last 3 months, for example, 5 weeks in a month, that's 15 weeks. I can add price volume, split adjusted, add the delta, and I'll change this value to weeks, and I'll make it 15 weeks and run it again. And so now I've got a new leader at the top. Durrell is up at 128%. Here's one that I've been tracking personally, Colonial Coal, and up over the last 3 months, it's up 286%. So you're going to get some great trading ideas. Just make sure you check the graph and make sure that it's continuing to rise, get it into your watch list. And if it's still going up the next day, you're all ready to go. So now I've created a search by modifying an existing search. And by the way, you can change the sort if you prefer to sort by the 5-day percent gain. Just come in and instead of display only, go sorted, descending. And now you'll just have to come into the 10-day and change that one to display only. So now you're going to be sorted by the best 5-day performances, and here they are here, but you're also going to see, the 5 days is the sort over here, but you're going to see the 10-day, and you're going to see the 15-week, and you can add 6 months, 1 year, whatever you like, and it's a great way to have a visual of the best performing stocks. So from here, just as we did before, we've modified this. So now we want to right click and save as, and there's our menu again. And we want to make sure we get it into the right folder again. Daily search routine V1, 10-day top price gainers. And I'm just going to change that. We've actually got that sorted now by 5-day top price gainers, and we'll just make it V1 again. Long, click OK. All right, so we've got 2 searches in our list. We can add other searches. Because it's earnings season, one that I like to add is a new search. And so I'll just come up to the top here again, top left, and click on new search. And this time I'm just going to create a quick search for earnings dates. So we'll go, first of all, we'll just create our minimum price greater than, you might set it greater than $5 or $10, whatever is your investment style. And volume the same, you can set it up the way you like. I'm just going to make it again the 50,000 since we're here in Canada with this layout. And then I'm going to look for earnings, stocks, capital appreciation, earnings date, and I want to see all the dates or all the companies that are reporting earnings within the next, say, 5 days. So I'll click on custom, and I'll just make it down here. I'm using the drop down arrow to get it down to 5 days. And there it is. So now I can run that search, and these are the companies that are reporting earnings over the next 5 days that also have a minimum price and a minimum volume. So for example, if I were to have run that search back here on October 8th, for example, these would be the companies that were reporting earnings. You can see the earnings date, October 12th. I think they actually reported in, it became known the morning of the 13th. And it had great earnings. It had a real strong earnings report and forecast going forward. So if I click on it, you can see that it did jump up quite strongly here, 17%. So it pays to know which companies have earnings coming up, and you can track the performance after the earnings and get on board if they have a really strong report. So there it is. We've got the search. We just need to save it again. So we just click in, we just click here, save as, little icon here, floppy disk icon, click on save as, and it'll bring us a drop down menu, and we'll just call it earnings, 5 days out. Okay. And make sure we click on long. It's a long search. Now we just want to make sure that we've got our folder highlighted once again. There it is right there. And we click OK. And so now we've got a search. We've got 3 searches in the daily search routine folder. And we can add, I wouldn't add more than 6 because you're going to come in each morning each evening before the next day's market open and run these searches, look at some graphs, and maybe decide on 1 or 2 or 3 stocks from each of your favorite searches. The other one that I wanted to just very quickly show you that I think is a useful one. I've already got it up here, so I'm just going to come up here, and it's in the daily search routine, but it's just a watch list trade ops search. So it's a pretty simple search that I created in the same way that I just created the earnings search, so you can follow those steps. Stock volume, shares traded on the day that we run the search. I've got 1 day ago greater than the stock average volume, so that's finding stocks where the volume is increasing. The key thing here is I want to look at a stock watch list, and I've got the TSX 60. So it's only going to return stocks that have rising RT, rising volume, and they're in the TSX 60 watch list. So you can see those stocks here. I can add any other criteria that I like, and you just create one search for the watch list, but you can move around and select different watch lists. For example, you can come to the cherry picking folder and the Midas Touch stocks, and you'll get a list of stocks that are in the Midas Touch watch list and also meet the other criteria. So in a very short order, you can run a few searches to help you find some trade opportunities. So with that, we've shown you how to scan for stock trading opportunities for the next day's market, and how to save them into a folder that you might call a daily search routine, so that it just makes it so easy and systematic to come in and look for your best stocks for the next day. All right, so we'll close out of that and just finish up here. Again, if you need any assistance or wish to take a 30-day trial for $9.95 US, it's 1-888-658-7638. And if you like this content, click on the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we can grow our audience for these videos. Thanks, everyone.